So when was the first version of Word released?
I have no idea.
I'm actually really surprised, guys, because none of you guys have guessed it, but it's actually October 25th, 1983 as Multitool Word.
Oh!
So, one person has voted for Visage, 3 for Mirage, 2 for Arrow, and nobody for Mika. That's pretty sad, because if you chose for Mika, you were incorrect. Because the actual answer is... Arrow!
Yes!
There we go. And now everyone's going to vote for Arrow. I see how this goes. I see how this goes. This makes me incredibly sad, guys. It makes me incredibly f***ing sad. Do you hear that? Those people sound like happy people. And the soundboard that I made might have something to do with their current happiness. As someone who works remotely quite often, okay, I get it. Online meetings can be boring and uninteresting sometimes. But what if there was a way to make our online meetings more interesting? That is what I asked myself last week during my lunch break. And that's what brought me to this idea. What if I create a soundboard that would spruce up an otherwise boring meeting? Ooh, yes, that's a great idea. And in the meantime, I can tell all of you lovely subscribers how to do the same. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I would do that right now because more videos like this one will be coming very soon. Now, before I can tell you how to make a soundboard, let me explain to you what a soundboard really is. A soundboard is essentially a set of buttons that you can configure to play different sounds during, for example, a meeting. Once you press a button on your correctly configured soundboard, it should play the sound that you assign to it and people in the meeting will be able to hear it.
But why would you want to have a soundboard in the first place? When's that actually going to be useful?
Well, during a presentation, for example, you can use it to play a background song to make the listening experience for your coworkers a bit more pleasant. Or, during a quiz, you can play a sound for when someone correctly answers a question or gets a question wrong. Or you can use a soundboard to f***ing censor yourself because you just cannot get rid of that sailor's mouth. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, let me actually tell you how to make one. This tutorial is based on one made by Tom Morgan from the Toughtstuff blog. Be sure to check out his original blog post and tutorial down below. To get started, you need to download 2 things off the internet, OBS Studio and a piece of software called the VB Cable. Run the installer for OBS and make sure it's fully installed. Then reboot your system and install VB Cable by running its installer as administrator. Reboot your computer once more to be sure and open OBS Studio. This window should show up now.
Ooh, now we're really gonna get our hands dirty.
We're going to add our sounds now. You can download various sound effects from YouTube or other sources on the internet. Once you have done that, create a new media source within OBS Studio. Give it a name so that it's easy to keep track of your sounds. For the media source, we're going to choose one of the sounds we got ready here. Once that's done, make sure you uncheck Restart Playback when source becomes active. Click OK and your sound has been added. Now go ahead and follow these exact instructions for all of the sounds you'd like to add to your soundboard. Once you're done adding all of them, it's time to set up some hotkeys. Click on Settings and then on Hotkeys to get started. Scroll all the way down until you start to see the names of your sounds. Each sound that you've added now has its own section within the Hotkeys page. Set up a hotkey for the Restart property for every single sound. This will be the key you have to press to get the sound to play. Do you have a pretty long sound, like some background music? Then it might be a good idea to add a stop hotkey as well so you can stop the background music anytime you like. Once you've got it all set up, you can click the OK button and everything should be good on that part. Lastly, let's go to the settings window within OBS. From here, click the audio tab and scroll down until you see the advanced section. Here, change the monitoring device to cable input VB Audio Virtual Cable. This will be important for later. You need to also make sure that all your sounds are coming through this monitoring device by clicking on Edit and then on Advanced Audio Properties. Then for each and every sound you have added, select Monitor and Output from the Audio Monitoring drop-down menu. Before you enter a Teams meeting, make sure you have Cable Output, VB Audio Virtual Cable, selected as your microphone input. Otherwise, nobody will be able to hear your awesome new soundboard. Don't worry, your microphone will still come through just fine. And as long as you keep OBS Studio open, you'll be able to use your soundboard and make your online Teams meetings a lot more interesting. Do note that you may not be able to hear the sound effects for yourself due to a limitation with OBS, but your coworkers will definitely be able to enjoy them. Just make sure that you stop when it clearly becomes an annoyance to your coworkers. It's gotta stay fun after all, right? Alright, that's it from me this time. I hope you learned something new today. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and to share this video around with anyone who you think needs a soundboard. I've been Mitch from WorkplaceBuddy. I'll see you all in the next one, and I hope you have an alpaca-tastic day.